Today we're talking about what to expect in terms of traveling and photography when you are visiting South Africa. There's so much to see and so much to do there. Has a lot of variety for landscapes, the climates, and it has everything in South Africa. Also the most affordable country to travel in, but there are a few things that you absolutely need to be aware of because South Africa has a bad reputation of being unsafe, and that is true. So you need to take extra care. Do not drive at night, that's a big no. Just be extra cautious when you are traveling or driving outside of the parks. Some of the townships around Kruger, for example, can be a little bit dodgy. Definitely drive in the daytime. So be alert and heed these precautions and you'll be fine. We had no issues at all after traveling there in 7 weeks, I think it was. It was just a little bit tiring when you constantly feel that you have to be alert to these things that hopefully won't happen. But if you're careful, they won't. Compared to all the other southern African countries, it's probably the cheapest country that we visited. And they have loads of safari operators, so you can do your safari on a budget if you want. And you will find all the information readily available online. Sanparks, South African national parks, they have a very good booking system, so you can check the availability of the camps without having to pick up the phone or send emails and wait for responses like in Botswana, which is a complete hassle to book in. So a big thumbs up for South Africa right there. And roads are mostly quite good, so that makes transportation very easy and painless. They have good roads in South Africa. For photography, South Africa really has everything from great parks to excellent game view. You can expect to find all the big five. We spent a month in the Kruger. I know that's a long time, and we found all the big fives. The more south we went, the more predators and rhinos we saw. You'll find elephants all over the place, and it's just spectacular. For photographers visiting South Africa, if you're doing this on a budget, Kruger is a great place to start. It's accessible for everyone with all walks of life. So it's a really unique park in that sense, and you'll find so much game there. So it's excellent for wildlife photographers. You can also do plenty of things as you drive. The garden route is fantastic. Cape Town, I even attempt a street photography session. That was, I wouldn't say a fail, but I tried to film a video there. I never thought I would get a dodgy vibe from a big city doing street photography, especially during daytime. That was a little bit of a fail, but you have street photography opportunities as well. Not many people think about that when they think of South Africa, but for a photographer that wants to do different genres while on the go, you have Cape Town and bigger towns. I would not do it in Joburg because you will probably get robbed there, unfortunately, but that's just how it is. When you go to the Western Cape, you can do whale watching as well. I can highly recommend that. I did not get so many good photos of the whales, but the landscape as we drove out on the boat that morning was fantastic. So I got some really cool layered photographs. I think turned out quite nicely. Then we went to Namakwalan on the west coast, also great for photography if you want to have artistic photos of, let's say, waves. It's not really my style, so I didn't get much there, but it was just an amazing experience. So all in all, for photographers, I would say landscape photographers, you can get some decent images. Wildlife photographers, 100%, especially if you are doing your self-drive safari, or if you want to book something more luxurious like a luxury lodge or do anything with safari operators. One of my friends happened to own one of these companies, and they tailor the safaris to your photographic needs, or if you just want to do adventurous safari or anything like that. I'll link to that below so you can check it out there. Awesome. We had a pleasure of testing one of their morning safaris, and we had a great time. And I actually got my favorite giraffe picture that morning. But as always, when it comes to Africa and photography, especially wildlife photography, you have to expect the unexpected. You can expect to get some great results in your photography in SA or South Africa. It is the most affordable country of the 5 countries that we have visited by far. You pay the conservation fee, you pay the vehicle fee, and you pay for accommodation or camping. We always opt for the cheaper option, which is camping, and that is around 450 or 400 rands depending on the park, but in Kruger that was the price for our campsites. You can also do accommodations like chalets and small huts. Those prices vary. You can just check out sanparks.org, I think it is, and you can see for yourself. I think we actually save money by staying here in Southern Africa, which is just... I wish we could stay here forever. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll move here one day even, but we shall see. We also stayed at an excellent vineyard. That's where our favorite wine comes from, and it was ridiculously cheap. We stayed there for 3 nights, and I think we paid something like $250 and had an amazing experience. And to top it off, we even had the full guest house on the vineyard to ourselves. You can do so many things for very cheap in South Africa. When it comes to camping, book way in advance. We booked Kruger, where we spent a month, 3 months in advance, I think, and we did not get all the camps that we wanted. So we had to mix and match a little bit for our route to make sense. But if you book 5 to 6 months in advance, you will be okay and get the cooler camps. Speaking about the cooler camps, I would say that the smaller camps in Kruger, like Tsense, Balule and Tailor, those are satellite camps to the bigger camps. They are by far the best. And you'll get a better sense of actually staying in the wild, which is what I like. One thing I noticed is that the service in the bigger camps in Kruger is not great. In the smaller camps like Tsense, Balule and Tailor, it's excellent. They are super friendly there. But it puzzles me a little bit why it's not so service-minded in the bigger camps where there are more people. It seems like they just could not care about you, or could not care less about you whatsoever. It's to me, as a European, that's a little bit annoying when you pay for accommodations, especially like we did a few times. They weren't very helpful. We had some problems with one of the huts. It wasn't clean at all. That was not very nice, but it is what it is, I guess. First one is Addo Elephant Camp. Loved it there. Restaurant is phenomenal. You get some great elephant sightings, and it's just a very interesting landscape with some hills, all that good stuff. And they also have black rhinos there. Just outside the gate in the north of Kruger, there is a bush and river camp called Enthakeni. It's off the grid, all solar, very quiet, and they have hiking and running trails there, which makes it even better. They have a pool, they have a small shop, beautiful, beautiful camp, hidden gem right there. Then I mentioned Tsense, Balule and Tailor, the smaller camps in Kruger. You should definitely stay there and if you want to get away from the bigger ones and the crowds in the bigger camps. And as a bonus to these smaller camps, you will have access to restricted areas, or restricted to residents of these camps. So you get more access to the Kruger as a whole. If you are staying in Kruger for more than 10 days, you can get something called a wild card. I did not know what the wild card was, but if you get that, it costs 5,000 rand, I think. You don't pay any conservation fees in any of the Sanparks for a year. So more than 10 days in any parks, you will have saved that, and you will probably save a lot of money. We didn't know about it, so we had to pay a lot more since we spent a month in the Kruger. Now you know. It's great advice for you right there. Country score for South Africa. I really want to give South Africa a 9 out of 10, but it's more like an 8 out of 10 because of the safety issue, and you always have to be on guard, which is a shame. I wish they just could fix those problems they had there, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So you have to be alert at all times and really watch out when you are not in the park. So we didn't feel 100% safe when we were driving from one park to another. But the game viewing there is phenomenal, and you will be taken good care of when you get your safari destination, and in the park is absolutely safe. The other thing that we definitely noticed was that there is a big crowd when you go more south in the Kruger. So at one lion sighting with one lion, I counted something like 20 cars. It was ridiculous. So you don't get that wild feeling that I'm used to from Botswana, but that's just Kruger, I guess. So you can go to other remote areas in the Kruger as well, but it just felt strange when you see these tiny cars, not even 4x4, with a big elephant right next to it. It was just an absurd sighting, I guess. So that's it. If you have any further questions about traveling in South Africa or photography in South Africa, you can ask your questions below. If you have come this far, please do like this video and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. That would be awesome. I appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.